Hello everyone, Aaron here with a new video. For this video, I wanted to challenge myself to do a game jam to see what I could create. I based my video on this one. I recommend checking it out. I don't have very much experience with game jams, so I decided to limit myself to 5 hours. My random theme ended up being shapeshifting, which at first left me clueless on what I should create. Then I thought about shapes, or rather polygons. Wouldn't it be cool to place random polygons on the screen and see them expand outward, kind of like ripples on a pond, and then have multiple shapes interact with each other and kind of simulate waves? But some of you might be wondering, is that even a game? What is a game? Honestly, trying to answer that question is difficult, but really, I like to think games distract us from our lives and make us happy. This won't be a very interactive experience, but hopefully very visually pleasing instead. If you'd like to see my code, check out my GitHub. Link in the description. I'm using Love2D to create the game. It's a Lua library for really fast and easy game development. So the first thing that I'm doing here is duplicating an old project so I could reuse some boilerplate code. Nothing too serious here. The first thing that I need to figure out is how do I create expanding ripples away from the polygon. I'm using a circle because I could reuse the obvious trigonometry when they become normal polygons later on. I have to figure out how to generate a number of points on the edge of the circle that can expand outward away from the shape. With these points, I can then connect them with lines, and it should hopefully look like something like rippling waves, but who knows. The way that I can generate these points is by taking a number of angles at a given interval and calculate where on the shape the point would be. So I had to watch a whole bunch of videos to figure out how to do this, but I was eventually able to get it. At this point, I had to stop working because I swear I had a virus on my computer, and I was determined to delete it because it was literally slowing down the game. So I don't know how long I spent. I spent a good while downloading antivirus, deleting old programs that I don't use anymore, and checking for processes that seemed that were doing more than they were supposed to. So at this point, I was starting to get the results that I had desired. I had the points moving away from the initial start of the points based off the polygon, but the only problem was the points are not interacting with each other, or they're not colliding with each other. So that was the next big thing to solve. And then also I need to figure out when they collide, how do they interact with each other? Because in normal waves, what happens is if two equal and opposite waves hit each other, they cancel each other out and then they would disappear. So in this example with the circle, all of those points should eventually disappear. So as I was working with this, I figured out the hardest challenge of all is to make an optimized way of checking collisions between the points, because essentially that's what I'm doing, is checking the collisions between each and every point and making sure that if they do hit, then that their vectors will at least become the opposite of what they are, or add 2 pi to them basically, or pi. So basically that would be rotating the vector of their motion 180 degrees if they hit each other. So at this point I was nearly running out of time, so I decided that I'm not going to spend more than 5 hours on this, simply because it's taking way longer than I thought it would to do it. I was doing a lot of other things while working on this project though, so maybe for the next one I could be more focused, but I was able to eventually get to a point where I was pretty happy with it just being points. The biggest problem that I ran into near the end was when I actually connected lines in between the points to try to make that ripple effect. I got some pretty janky results that weren't very nice, but they look cool.